Welcome, Reds, to the 100% United pod. I'm your host, TC, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Scott. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good, thank you, pal. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Nice and relaxed now. We've got a little break from the season, from the tensions of the season.
It is strange, isn't it, to not have United games to be nervous about?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least it's not going to be too much of a break this time. On today's show, we actually look at the newly released fixtures for next season, check out all the latest United transfer rumours, and round up any other Manchester United news. First, though, Scott, straight from one season to another, what caught your eye when those fixtures came out this morning?
It's a tough October, right? It's kind of an easier start with Crystal Palace and Brighton, but then we've straight in it with Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal all at home.
Yes. Although when I looked, and I look up rather than down, so, it's Manchester City and Liverpool that we're trying to hunt down. You look at Liverpool's start, and that's a blooming littered with banana skins. And City's start, it's not easy either.
Yeah, it's to be honest, I haven't had a chance to look at theirs, so I was only concentrating on ours. But have they got difficult starts?
Yes, very difficult indeed. Liverpool actually play Leeds first game, and then they've got a couple of massive games after that straight away. And City, yeah, they've got big teams early on as well. So everyone's got a tricky start. And Arsenal were popping up in those runs, so I presume they've got a hard start as well. But they're down in 8th, so we won't worry about that. Yeah, first game, we got Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. We were meant to play Burnley, but it's been postponed. So we've actually got about a month until the first game, a little bit longer than that 30-day rest we were expecting. Crystal Palace at Old Trafford, you'd expect us to get off to a flying start.
You definitely hope so, right? Definitely hope so. Brighton away as well. Hopefully there aren't going to be any fans.
Yes.
That was a lot easier to play without any fans than it was the previous seasons.
Yes.
So, we'll have to see.
Yeah. And look, when the fixtures come out, always your eyes go through. I always look, of course, for City, Liverpool, now Leeds as well. And I also look for the Christmas fixtures too. So we've got a big December too. We've got City at home on the 12th of December. And then we've got Leeds at home on the 19th of December, just before Christmas. And then Liverpool away on the 16th of January. So you're looking forward to seeing Leeds again?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of fun, wouldn't it? I mean, I say I'm looking forward to seeing them. I absolutely despise them.
Yeah.
I go Liverpool, Leeds, and then City in terms of my personal hatred. So seeing them back is, I love the big games. I love the big rivalries. So yeah, it is good to see them back and be able to give them a bloody nose again.
I would have to actually disagree with your hierarchy. I think growing up for me that was the hierarchy because City was so irrelevant. But the last 10 years, I would have to put City above Leeds because we just haven't played Leeds, right? But Scousers are obviously number 1. For me, City number 2. And we all hate Leeds number 3.
Give it one game at Ellen Road and I reckon you might change your mind. I really do. One thing I did see though, Scott, that worried me a little bit is that, yeah, as you say, we got Spurs home, we got Chelsea home, we got Arsenal home, we've also got City home, and then we got Leeds home as well. Now they're saying that the Spurs game might be one of the first ones where we might have some fans back in there, but the truth of the matter is that we're going to have all those big games where we're not going to have any fans. And then later on in the season, you'd expect the fans to come back. And we've got then, we've got Chelsea away, we've got Arsenal away, City away, Leeds away, Liverpool away, all after sort of the 30th of January, Liverpool away on the 16th of January. So that could be a big factor this season, couldn't it? It's not going to be... Yeah, it's not going to be. I know it happened last season, but we're foreseeing this season that we're not going to have any fans at the start. So, a little bit worrying on that front.
Yeah, that's a really good call. It's a good call. I mean, it's hard enough just to pick up points away from home. So to have those harder games in the second half of the season is tough. I mean, I think our last game was Wolves away, right? So if it does
last day of
down
the season,
to some sort of scenario that we need, we need something, and Wolves don't have European football either, right? So they can really focus on the league from the start. Yeah, you're right. It'll be tough. And if they do postpone fans coming back to, say, November, then, yeah, we've just lost Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal, all home games that we won't have any fans. It's crazy.
Yeah. Let's hope they're back in by December. As I say, we've got City and Leeds, and it would be desperately unfair if we play City and Leeds in an empty Old Trafford, and then we have to go across the road to City and then obviously across the Pennines to Leeds for what, they will be chomping at the bit to give us a raucous welcome in that hellhole later in the year.
Yeah, and one thing I notice is that the games we have after European competitions, right? We play Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton, Southampton, and City all after European excursions that week.
Yeah.
So that's tough too.
Are you worried about playing Liverpool either side of a European Cup quarter-final as well? The quarter-final either side of Liverpool, back
Of
in
course,
1st of May?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'd love to think we're going to get to a Champions League quarter-final.
Yeah, we're playing Liverpool pretty late, aren't we? 1st of May. Normally it's a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually prefer playing Liverpool home first and then away second.
All right.
I don't know why. It's just something I've got in my head. I always prefer it the other way around rather than going to Anfield first and then Old Trafford. I don't know whether statistically we do better. It's just a feeling I've got, one of my mad feelings. So, but yeah, nice to have the fixtures out already, but it's blooming quick turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah. To think there's going to be a game in I was amazed to see the Community Shield is going to be in like 8 days, 9 days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And apparently Liverpool have had someone test positive, but they're keeping stum about it.
Yeah. Who do you think it is?
No comment. No comment.
No comment. Yeah. Good call. Yeah.
So yeah, as you say, quick turnaround. So in terms of transfers, we need to pull a finger out, don't we, mate?
Yeah, we do. We said this a week ago.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're going to be back. We're going to be back in full pre-season training, in a matter of days. I know there's some players who are at Carrington already, but we really need to sort this out. I mean, for me, it seems like the Sancho deal is still on. And it does also seem to me that we're not going to hit the button on any other transfers until we've done the Sancho deal. It almost, Dortmund are trying to haggle with us. If we then go and drop 50 million on someone else or 30 million on someone else, Dortmund will say, well, hang about. You could have just paid us the extra for Sancho, deal off. So I don't know whether that's something of a hold up at the moment.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the Sancho deal, I know the papers are running out of things to talk about. When it comes to Jadon Sancho. So now they're saying that the hold up is that Joel Glazer has got involved and that he is kicking up a fuss about the fees and all the rest of it. But it was reported quite a while ago now that Joel Glazer does have a hands-on input into transfers. Every transfer gets put on his desk. And that was flagged up as one of the reasons why we are a little bit slow on transfers, because he does get his finger in the pie. So to me, that was just drumming up a news story, trying to drum up, apparently all over social media, they're going wild about the Glazer out thing like they do every summer. So I think that's just playing. They've probably looked on Twitter, seen Glazer out and gone, okay, let's whip up that story.
No, yeah, but we started off this week with the Dortmund manager coming out and saying that Sancho needed to improve certain areas and that this and that and this and that, and then the next day he wasn't involved in their kit launch.
No.
So I think those are two positive signs, right? And also I think honestly that no news is good news in this, right? That we're not looking at proper alternatives. I know David Brooks' name's been chucked out there. It's probably an addition, not a replacement to Sancho. So yeah, it makes sense as well that we wait to try and get the price as low as we can. And it's funny that I remember in January you and me were just screaming that we needed to pull the trigger on Bruno. But then when it finally happened, we were like, Jesus, that was a good deal. We got that, 47 million up front and then this and that. So I'm not saying it was maybe worth the wait, but you can tell that the negotiating is still going on because there was that silence as well before Bruno got announced.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't worth the wait because we were playing blooming football games and losing them, weren't we? Or drawing them. But if I remember rightly, I'm pretty sure that the story around Bruno a week out was that Joel Glazer had got involved and it was slowing it down. I think, actually, for me, if Joel Glazer is involved, it means it's pretty progressed because they don't send every idea to him. They say when it needs to be rubber stamped, it goes onto his desk. So that same story came up with Bruno. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some news really start to snowball after. Look, you've got Europa League final and the Champions League final this weekend. So it wouldn't make sense for them to announce something on Friday and then get buried, the record signing get buried by the news of the European competitions. It makes sense to do it next week, really, doesn't it?
Mate, you just got me all excited for Monday now. You did.
Good. But look, the main thing for me is there's still no word from the man himself. Mm-hmm. There's still no Jadon Sancho coming out and saying I'm staying. There's still no no social media post from Sancho at all. You say about the kit releases, he was on the EA Sports one, but that would have been the FIFA one. That would have been led by FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ones, he wasn't there at all. And of course, they don't have to get him to do the FIFA one. They can just put his character up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, and they do bring out about 8 kicks a year. So there's been plenty of opportunities, isn't there? So yeah, I think I'm still positive with that one, mate. It has been worrying times with the lack of news, but at the moment, yeah, I'm still pretty sure that we're gonna bag him.
Yeah, I really, really hope so, because now it's gone too far, right?
Yes, it would be a major disappointment. I know you said to me the other day when we were texting away that this is getting to Pogba levels.
It is.
Pogba summer, that wild Pogba summer.
It is. Yeah, well, we're just looking for signs out of absolutely anything, right? I remember the final straw for us was when someone else got the number 10. Was it Dybala? Remember the Juventus shirts came out in Asia somewhere, and it was 10 Dybala, and we're like, well, if it's not 10 Pogba, he's obviously lost his number, and that was the final straw for me. So I don't know. It's kind of eerily similar for me.
Yeah. I've been stalking the Dortmund social media incognito and keep an eye on everything going on there. So yeah, still I think positive signs with Sancho. It would be a magical addition to the squad. We've already bagged another one. It seems we were chatting about this months ago, weren't we? Marc Jurado from Barcelona.
Yep.
It's apparently going to be official soon. He actually commented on Bruno Fernandes's Instagram about the exit from Europa League and said, "We keep fighting. We keep fighting." Yeah. So I mean, if that's not a massive message that he is on his way. Attacking fullback in sort of the Spanish mould. He loves to get forward. He's got bags of gas. Only 16 years old. But as we've seen Brandon Williams come into the side at 19. So he's one who we could see in sort of 3 or 4 years' time.
Definitely. And another 17-year-old you were reading about from, Partizan, Philippe Stovanovic.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's coming and going back on loan for a year. Yes. Played against us in the Europa League a couple of times.
He did.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, he's a tricky little fellow, isn't he? And he, he basically announced it himself with the old eyes on the post when he was playing against United. So yeah, nice bit of youth signings, but we do need to strengthen that first team. We do need to strengthen that first team squad. We've had some rumours around a couple of left backs. He is a versatile player. David Alaba apparently is up for grabs from Bayern Munich. I know I said to you on the sly a little while ago that I thought he might be available. The only thing with this one is that what I'm hearing is the reason that he would potentially want to leave Bayern Munich is because he wants to play midfield.
All right.
The reason why we'd want to sign him is to basically play centre-back or full-back and sometimes maybe defensive midfield as well. But we'd want him to have that versatility. If he was willing to have that versatility for us, it'd be a no-brainer, surely.
It would be, but I'm also reading he wants 300 grand a week. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, look, we always as fans, we get stuck a couple of years behind on wages, don't we? So we're like, I can't believe he wants that a week. He wants that a week. But when they say 300, it's with the add-ons and all the rest of it. And if you look through who else we're paying, I mean, he's a seasoned pro, 27 years old, ready-made. We do need a few of them. Look, we got Bruno in. He's elevated the squad no end.
He's on 100 grand a week.
Yes, I'm sure that'll be bumped up soon. But but we.
I just think it might be going down the same road as Sanchez.
Yeah,
I know that Alaba's a great player, but as well, sometimes those Munich players, they leave Munich and they're not quite as what they said on the tin, right? That Bayern team makes players look sometimes better than they are. Again, it's a good shout because it's probably going to be considerably cheaper than 80 million that Chilwell's going to go for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, but you're right. Could he come and play central midfield? I don't know.
Certainly sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't great in that one World Cup. I seem to remember he played there for Austria when we had been seeing him tearing up trees as a youngster, and he was bobbins in midfield, but he was playing for Austria. So, but yeah, I'm sure if he could, it would solve that left back problem, that left centre back problem, that 3 at the back problem, and that defensive midfield problem in one. So it would be cracking stuff.
I couldn't see room for Fred in the squad if he comes in. I mean, they're pretty similar players if he's going to play in midfield, right?
One little word on Bayern Munich, I must say. You look through their squad, and they bought Neuer for 30 mil, but they haven't spent more than that on anyone in that first team they're playing at the moment. It's bananas.
Incredible.
How many good deals they've got is unbelievable stuff.
Incredible, especially because we were going after Thiago,
Yeah.
and to think that they got him for what, 25 million or something,
Incredible.
is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and they've already got Sane for next season.
Yeah,
Perisic will go back to Inter Milan, I presume. Coutinho will go back to Barca and maybe off to somewhere else. Who knows if Koeman wants him? But yeah, when you look at some of the players they've plucked, of course they've actually got what we used to have, right? Where we used to be able to, we just had a free reign to pluck the best English talent or Premier League talent that was popping up in any of the rivals or lower teams, and we could just snag them and stick them in our team. And they've still got that unbelievably, even in these modern times.
that's right. Who's their feeder team? Is it Dortmund, right?
Luckily, they've got Sane already.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be worried.
It's amazing the fight that Dortmund are giving us to keep Sancho, but if it was Bayern Munich, it would have been done months ago.
Pants down over the desk, yeah.
How much so? Yeah, unbelievable.
Although what I will say, Scott, and it's just, look, there's Donny van der Beek is looking like he's going to go to Barcelona now because Koeman's become Barcelona manager. And it's just one thing that worries me a little bit about the Sancho thing is that if you just get in there and get a deal done, it's like Van der Beek. He was available. We probably could have got him if we wanted him. Maybe we don't want him. I fancy him. But now something's changed and it looks like Koeman's going to take him to Barca, and that's off the table. All it takes is...
Maybe not. Who knows?
Yes.
Apparently he signed a deal with Real Madrid that then got cancelled.
Yes.
Who's to say that we haven't been involved? And I'm obviously talking fantasy land hypothetical.
Yeah.
But to say that we'll sign you after Sancho because, if we do manage to get Sancho, there is a deadline.
Yep.
And he had a deal with Real Madrid under the table. What's to say he can't have one with us?
Absolutely. I'm not saying it is a done deal. What I'm really highlighting it's not really the Van der Beek thing. It's just a thing like now you're hearing Mourinho wants Bale back at Spurs. If a deal was to be done, again, fantasy land, and Madrid got those wages off the bill and managed to sell a new patch of land they'd found in some backwater to the council again, then they come in for Sancho. And then suddenly we're like, bloody hell, we should have just paid the extra 10 million weeks ago. I'm just saying, if you don't pull the trigger, things change. Koeman goes to Barca. Suddenly, what if hypothetically, Messi does push for a move from Barcelona? Then they're going to be looking for someone, an attacking player, possibly a right winger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they have Griezmann and Dembele
I know.
is a help towards that. But
It
you're,
is.
you're right. And
it's just a worry.
Yeah, we're risking on not getting him for trying to save 5-10 million when we're going to make that on shirt sales in a day.
Exactly. And look, we don't know the ins and outs. It does seem that it's the guaranteed money and the upfront money that Dortmund are really pushing to get from us. And of course, it's something that our powers that be are going to try and get him in for as little as possible. But I'm just saying, when you look back at certain transfers like the Hazard one to Chelsea, when we didn't want to pay the agent fees, he went to Chelsea, and in hindsight, you say, "Oh, blooming hell, I wish we'd blooming paid the agent fees." In hindsight, so yeah, that's only just a little worry, if any, with Jadon Sancho. Well, we've been linked to a couple of old flames from Juventus, which I'm not too keen on at all. Actually, there's Alexandro, the left back, and Douglas Costa popping up again. I mean, we were after him when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk, weren't we?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that he's almost 30.
Yeah, he seems 35. He's been around for years, doesn't he?
But literally, I mean, we were after him, many moons ago. And yeah, that's not the kind of signing we want. Sandro, we were after him 3 or 4 years ago as well, weren't we?
Yeah. Mourinho was after him, wasn't he?
Jack Grealish, apparently, we are going to potentially offer Sergio Romero in a bit part deal for Grealish. That might be a road we can go down with some of these signings, doing, just popping a couple of players in the deal, getting rid of a few of the squad players. That would potentially shave a little bit off the price, although not a major amount, I wouldn't have thought.
And Pereira, give him Pereira as well as a homegrown player.
Yeah.
That's got a bit of value.
25 million.
Oh, I'd be like, nice. Yeah.
Look, you did mention David Brooks. Apparently what we're hearing is that he is really more of a replacement for Grealish than Sancho. A different option to him rather than Sancho. I know he has played out on the right wing, but since his injury, he performed a lot better when he's not on the right wing. Bournemouth fans say he lost a bit of gas. Look, he had a great season last season, but then season just gone by, he got a major injury. He's only played 9 games, 1 goal, 0 assists. They're talking 40 million quid. It seems like a hell of a lot of money for quite a risky transfer.
Crazy. I think
Yeah.
as well, Bournemouth just gone down. You give that a couple of weeks and you shave 20 million off that, make them desperate. And but yeah, it's a shame to me because here I am thinking that Thomas Partey's available for 40 million pounds and Donny van de Beek's available for 40 million pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It boggles my mind, mate.
Yeah, it would be a weird one to say the least. He can play 10, he can play out wide as well. But yeah, and I love a good Welshman. But we bought a blooming Welshman last summer for the bench, effectively, haven't we? We got Daniel James, who's effectively, he's a right winger, isn't he? Left winger, right winger. And already Ollie's not bringing him off the bench after less than a year. And it's one worry I do have, Scott, I must say, in terms of the squad makeup, is, look, we got Daniel James, we got Odion Ighalo, two forward players who just Ollie doesn't really seem to fancy anymore.
Well, it's hard to say. The last 3 or 4 games of our season were so important and we weren't in positions to be able to relax and bring them on.
Yeah, but even in the smaller...
but the problem I have is that we don't even see any departures go. We don't see anybody going out. Sanchez is the only one who's gone out, but he wasn't even with us. And we're talking about we need to raise funds and this and that. There aren't even sniffs at other... I know Newcastle were in for Smalling and he obviously said no. But it doesn't seem like we're even trying to get rid of anyone.
I know. I mean... that is my worry, though, getting rid of too many people. I mean, we've praised Ollie for getting rid of Deadwood, but also we've looked at a squad that has been down to its bare bones a few times this season. It hasn't just happened. It hasn't just been one major injury crisis. We have played our first 11 again and again. As I've said, we got rid of Ashley Young in January. We got rid of Smalling on loan. Lukaku went out. We didn't replace him until January. And Herrera is playing in the Champions League final this weekend. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out why we haven't got a very strong squad, because, all those players were basically first teamers last season, and they've gone out, and we've popped other people who we had in the squad effectively into the team. We've of course bought Bruno Fernandes as well, and Harry Maguire. But I just wonder, it's something that pops up with Ollie in my head a little bit, is that he kind of alienates people he's not picking. Remember, the reason why Lukaku kicked up such a fuss, and I'm not saying we should have kept Lukaku, don't get your knickers in a twist, everyone, is because he was insistent on playing Rashford number 9. Remember, me and you said at the time that Rashford's not the long-term option as our number 1 first choice number 9, and as it's come to pass, Rashford actually is now on the left wing, isn't he? And Martial's playing number 9. So, and Ollie, from his own mouth, said he wanted to keep Lukaku. So I just worry that when someone falls out of favour, he really doesn't seem to manage their minutes. Look, Scott McTominay, he was flying, he was doing great, and now he's, persona non grata almost, comes on a striker for a few minutes. But that rotation, it's something that we've got to get going, and we can't just sell everyone in the squad again and just sign another couple, because we are... we're gonna get into the same situation again. I'm afraid. Diogo Dalot can go into that pot as well, I suppose.
Yeah, you're right.
It is a worry, and of course it's a worry that we were after Bruno last summer as well, weren't we? And we end up getting him in January. So yeah, we've got to replace first teamers and let some of the first teamers drop down to the bench, rather than looking at your Brookses and then popping them straight on the bench to go with Daniel James and Ighalo.
No, I completely agree. We need first team quality.
Yeah. Look, Dean Henderson was arriving at Carrington this morning. Sheffield United have signed Aaron Ramsdale. Obviously went from Sheffield United to Bournemouth and back again. Apparently they've signed him for about 18 million quid. So the Dean Henderson to Sheffield United thing is done and dusted. He said his goodbyes on social media to Sheffield United after his couple of years there. Word is coming out that he really wants to stick. He really wants to stay and battle it out with David De Gea.
Well, if it's his decision, then he knows he's probably got to start from the bench, right? And it's interesting.
What do you think? I know we've seen Real Madrid do it. We've seen Paris Saint-Germain do it, haven't we? We've seen Juve do it. We've seen Barcelona do it, where you've got one keeper who does the cup games, including Champions League. So it's not like you're getting the short end of the stick, and then someone else gets the league games. Can you see us going down that route? It's not a very English football thing to do, but it is something that on the continent is quite prevalent.
Yeah, perhaps. But then, when it comes down to the semi-final, if he drops him for De Gea, then it's going to be a different story, right?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? When you've seen it in the past, it's been things like, say Buffon and Chesney. Buffon plays the Champions League games and would play in the final for Juve effectively. Ter Stegen did it with Bravo at Barca.
I think so,
in the beginning.
Yeah,
I think so. And then we had, like I say, we had a number of things. In PSG, Buffon did the rotation system as well. Yeah, you've either, when it's two keepers who, you don't want to burn Henderson for the future, do you?
No.
That's one thing. We could get quite a lot of cash for Henderson effectively if we did sell him. If you're thinking Aaron Ramsdale's going for almost 20 million, then you'd be effectively looking at about 40 million quid at least for Henderson, wouldn't you?
You'd definitely hope so, yeah. 50 million.
Yeah. So it's it's a tricky one. A big decision for Ollie, that one. The one problem, of course, with having two top keepers is that if one's on the bench, De Gea drops a clanger, and then you put Henderson in. As we said before, Henderson is going to make some mistakes when he first arrives at United. The press are going to go mad about it, and he just has to get through it. If De Gea's on the bench, before you know it, he's back on the field, and you're chasing your own tail all season.
Yeah, which wouldn't go against Ollie's character, I don't think. Yeah.
We will see. Look, before we go, Scott, have to mention it. I know you've been going crazy about those third shorts, waiting for them to come out so you can grab a pair.
God.
We joked, didn't we? A few weeks back, we were talking about, what shorts are they going to put with that zebra dazzle camo shirt, and I was joking to you, they're probably going to do dazzle camo shorts too. But I was totally joking, and unbelievably, they have.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
unbelievable. It's just, they're not going to save it with red numbers even. That looks shocking. But you're right. If the shorts were white or black, solid, then it wouldn't be camouflage anymore, would it?
Well, exactly. That's the thing.
You'd be able to see them.
They thought, look, we're going to ruin the cam. Yeah, exactly, 100%. But yeah,
is it going to be? Is it going to be detrimental to look at the grey kit? How we couldn't pick each other out. Is it going to be similar to that? Because
it did cross my mind.
It might be all right now that there are no fans, but once there are fans behind it, it's going to be tough to pick people out, right?
It's a good point, actually, Scott. I did cross my mind. In terms of picking people out. And the thing is, Dazzle Camo is actually designed for ships so that you can't judge their location and speed so well. So picking out a pass is going to be bloody impossible.
Yeah, so it seems ridiculous.
What are the socks going to be like?
They've got to be camo as well, right?
They do, don't they now? You've got to go full hog. If you've done the short,
absolutely.
you've got to go.
But the problem I have is that how often are we ever going to be able to wear striped shorts? Because surely, 98% of teams wear either white or black shorts.
That's true,
right? So we're gonna end up wearing alternate shorts for those. It's gonna look
dog's dinner
kind of. But I wouldn't even feed my dogs that rubbish.
Yeah, I know. What I will say, Scott, is that I do think it's better than that horrible ecru goldy. Whatever it is,
beige
away kit. We had this beige. Well, is it? I don't know.
Horrible.
It was with the snakeskin. Really, really bad.
I tried to convince myself it was gold, but it wasn't gold. That's the closest we're going to get to gold.
Appalling.
Thank God we got a green and gold one this year, though, to fall back on.
Bit of history.
Yeah. That green and gold away shirt really does bring out the rivers.
The spirit of Newton Heath, eh?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll only have a few weeks until we see the lads in it anyway. That'd be nice anyway.
I can't wait. Will we see them? I don't know if we will see them. So certainly won't be able to tell how far they are away. Jesus.
Taking us all for mugs.
Shockers.
Thanks for joining us again, everyone. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your pods. Follow our Instagram at United100 Podcast for all the latest from us. We'll be back on Monday, barring any major breaking news in the meantime. Until then, thanks for joining me again, Scott.
Thank you, TC.
Take care. Cheerio, Reds.
Tara.